everybody. This is Erin Dooley, producer and writer-director of Confessions of a Catholic Single.
Hey guys, I'm Marc Reaume. I'm the founder of Zelie Catholic Dating app.
All right, and we just wanted to talk a little bit about the state of Catholic dating in our world today. Do you have any initial thoughts on what it is like for the Catholic singles out there, Mark?
Yeah, so there's a lot of just really exciting stuff happening with a lot of new Catholic dating apps coming up, um, and then with the way that younger Catholics are coming back to the church, people are coming into the church. It's really amazing to see all the opportunities coming up.
Do you feel like in your talking with Catholic singles, like, is there excitement or is there a little bit of like people are kind of tired out of, with the dating in general, like in the general population that kind of seeps into, we're not siloed out as Catholics. So what do you feel like is the feeling among Catholic singles?
I think there is a lot of excitement now. I think with the kind of revival that's happening, especially in these big city centers, people are. We just sponsored recently in New York City the Holy Girl Walk.
Mm,
So people are getting out there, whether they're single, trying to meet somebody, they're going to mass more, meeting
yeah,
people there, they're meeting people on apps.
yeah.
Um, there's a lot of ways to do it now. I think people are really excited.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a pushback in like going back to in-person meeting. People are really
Mhm.
wanting to add that back that because obviously like gaps are good, to start maybe, but then you always, of
Yeah,
course, are trying to meet in real life. And so that people are really seem it is good to be coming back together.
yeah.
Yeah, but there certainly are still the woes of from people with dating. What what would you say are the difficulties for Catholic singles that you've heard?
Um, I think a lot of Catholic singles they want to know that the person they're meeting or matching with is going to be on the same level like they are, or at least near to it.
Mhm.
That they want to know that, hey, I'd be okay getting up Saturday morning, go to adoration for an hour together, and then getting coffee,
Yeah.
or that basically they have the same morals, they want the same lifestyle eventually, they have the same plans for family down the road.
Mhm.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because even if you are on, a different app that's not specifically Catholic, it's like, yeah, you can filter for Catholic, but you don't know if they're just culturally Catholic, they're just saying that, or if they're not at all. Or some people, I think, even like mark Christian, even when they're
Yeah.
specifically Catholic, because they are, I don't know, whatever their reason is. And then, of course, when you meet people out in public, you don't know unless you're meeting them at church or adoration.
Right.
And yeah, it is. And even I was actually talking with a matchmaker, and it was a general one, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like we can work with Catholics." And I was thinking, I was like, "But I don't know because I don't think they would know to ask like." Is traditional, would you go to a Latin mass or would you go to Novus
Right.
Ordo? Like, they're not going to know that more granular stuff that I think is important to people because how we live out our faith is so central to people. I mean, especially people that are going to be on these apps that are saying, I definitely want to find somebody who's Catholic, that those things are important to us. And we need to, um, yeah, if we were going to use a matchmaker, it has to be somebody that would understand those, baser level things.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have to really almost be in the faith to really, introduce us properly and,
right.
get to know both parties and say, okay, yeah, she's definitely a great fit for him.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
because it's it is interesting to to see if somebody is because it could certainly work, right? Yeah, if somebody's like coming back to the faith and they're getting going again and somebody else has been really strong in their faith, they could lead them and it just depends on the person, right? If that's what they want and are okay with, or if they definitely want somebody that's like going to daily mass with them or, like already at a
right.
certain level. Um, and
So,
I think it's important to be clear, I guess, with what you are, wanting because people could maybe have an expectation if you are, say, like a daily mass goer, that that's like all you want. It's like, but maybe
Right.
you're okay with somebody who's, just once a week, as long as they're faithful. So it is an interesting, a lot of nuance, I think.
Right.
And
Definitely.
yeah, this, and so
I
like
think
what, besides like the Catholic, like specifically like adoration or like doing sort of Catholic things, are there other ways you think that Catholics do date differently or should date differently?
um yeah, so we got, meeting and adoration or mass. We've got the apps coming out. Um I think, maybe introductions for from friends or family is a good opportunity still.
Hmm.
Um yeah, matchmakers. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of good opportunities, especially, so many new people coming in and coming
Hmm.
back. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely been a lot in the Catholic dating space. I mean, obviously, like, but the podcast that I have following all these different accounts that are doing so much. And I've even on Instagram, like seeing those, uh, this is a matchmaking post, put in your, name and
yes.
all that. And I'm so curious to see how many people have made connections through that because when I look at those, they are from, different countries, from all over the US. And I'm like, I know people can, of course, have long distance relationships, but I'm just super curious about the connections that are made there. I mean, I put a few up on our account page, but I
I
made them
saw.
state specific because I was like, well, this is a great idea, but maybe if it was like only Texas, answer here, then
Right.
people would actually be like, oh, wait, you, and then they could connect and be like, oh, you go to the same church. And we just don't know each other because that can happen so much. Like
Yeah.
my cousin and his wife, they met on an app and they lived like 2 blocks away. They just never
Oh, wow.
saw each other. So it took
That's
that,
awesome.
and they've been married, 2 kids, and all of that. So
Yeah.
it's
It
very
really kind of
interesting.
proves that, you could totally bump into them at mass or meet on the app. And
Yeah,
it's such a cool thing about Catholic dating.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so why do you feel like it can be hard for sincere Catholics to find love? I mean, it feels like, people that I talk with, we've been trying to meet somebody and it just hasn't happened. And, it can be a little bit trite, like, oh, it's all in God's time. And yes, it is, but it also can still feel like, okay, why isn't this happening? Or,
Yeah.
yeah, so just if you have thoughts on what might be holding a stumbling block, or I don't know how you would answer that. What's holding
Yeah.
people
I,
back?
I think being prepared, like thinking about like what truly is marriage.
Mm,
You're sacrificing and giving yourself to your partner, trying to get them to heaven, make them a saint. And I think a big part of that, maybe, being prepared spiritually, financially, maturity wise, being prepared. I think that goes into it a lot. I think if you're really in it for marriage, which all Catholics should be, um, I think that's the biggest part.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot online about reminding that, this waiting period like isn't wasted, it's preparation. And
Right.
I was talking with a friend just the other day and she was like, um, okay, like something else is supposed to be happening now then. Like if this isn't happening, for a person, then God is allowing that time for something else, be it, in their career or with family, whatever it is that, maybe think about what else should be focused on for yourself, like, all of the, yeah, like
Yeah.
interior, but also just with life to make sure that you're, whatever station you're in, you're doing what you ought to be doing. If you're too focused on one thing, some other things can, fall by the wayside. And so it
Yeah,
could be a time to redirect energies. And so that was a nice reminder about that as
definitely.
well.
And
Yeah.
it can seem like it, maybe it would happen at an unexpected time or just the right time. But yeah, definitely being prepared, thinking
Hmm.
about, what God calls us to do in marriage and what it's really for. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
probably the
because
best preparation.
yeah, definitely to know what you're getting into because especially with the rate of divorce,
Mhm.
I mean, sadly, it seems like it's not that different among Catholics.
Yeah, right.
But they say, you know, Catholics in general, but it's, you know, depends on, you know, if you're again, you know, actually mass attending and, you know, in that, not just a cultural Catholic perhaps, but
Right.
and I think couples that actually use NFP have the lowest rate of divorce. So it's like,
Yeah, I've heard
yeah,
that too. Yep.
just make because they come together so much to like be communicative and all of that. But I do think, yeah, knowing what marriage entails, and it's not just the wedding, it's the marriage, right?
Yes,
And everything
absolutely.
that's gonna be in it. And you're going through life with somebody, so you know life is gonna happen, and how does that yeah, how do you both of you navigate when there's stress and then
Yeah.
yeah, the sacramental part of it, of course,
How do you react
to
to different situations, hard times and good times? Like,
yeah,
are you going to be there to lift that person up and encourage them? And,
yeah,
my wife she's been very good for that. Very great. We really try to keep it, each other up and encouraged and,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes the people that we're closest to, we can take them for granted, and then they see the worst of us, and to remember, like,
Right.
no, they should, you know, you chose this person of everybody to share your
Right.
life with, so they should get the best of you. And
Absolutely.
so that always comes to my mind as well to make sure that, and the Catholic preparation, like the pre-Cana, I mean, hopefully, you know, the parishes have good ones because it is such an important thing. And, you know, Catholic
Yeah.
parishes want to have good Catholic marriages and families. So
Yeah.
it is all important, but it all starts with meeting somebody. So,
Right. Meeting, and then the other stat that I've heard is really praying together
mhm.
as a couple, and then later as a family. It's, the couples that pray together stay together.
Yep,
So
yep.
definitely, as
That's
the old saying goes. But
right. Yep.
yeah.
So, yeah, and that's like a big key for the Zelie app, right? Is the prayer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of our main feature here is we want to start couples in prayer together. So, as soon as you match, you can, kind of start discerning together, praying together, saying the rosary, a
Mhm.
mercy chaplet, stuff like that right away. So, and
That's
it makes
good.
it easier too later if you do end up marrying that person that you've started with that foundation of
Right.
prayer. It's easier to get it when you have kids. You can kind of keep it going and going.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because it can be harder to start, yeah, at a different time. But if it's already there, then it just becomes
yep,
natural that you guys
right.
pray together. Yeah.
Build your blocks on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What on the app, as you know, you guys are building it and preparing to have people join, what as people like what profile, do you have any like profile tips of what to put on?
So when you're going through our onboarding, we have a really deep onboarding. Um, Make sure just the biggest things is be really honest about the questions in onboarding because we do ask, quite a few questions. There is like explainers if you don't understand something like the difference between, the Latin Mass and Novus Ordo.
Mm,
There's explainers there, or it encourages you to look something up.
okay.
But being honest in the onboarding, filling out like a real true profile bio about yourself. You don't have to go into your real life story, but just, tell them something that would help them get to know you. And then we have suggestions, kind of like guides
Mm,
when you're uploading pictures about what kind of pictures to upload.
okay.
And we actually really dug into the stats of like what type of pictures get matches the most. So if you stick to those guides, you're going to have a really, really good profile.
Okay. Fish
So
pictures, are those the ones that win it?
those are banned from the app. Yeah. Yep.
What what is the like the best?
So you want to have like kind of like a selfie picture first,
Okay.
and then a full body picture, a picture with you with your family, and
Mm,
then any kind of hobby or you like you doing a hobby, something like that, some kind of
Yeah.
action picture.
Okay.
And then I think the last one was surprisingly is like if you have a pet, like a picture of you
Okay.
with your pet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you don't have their suggestions, but
Right.
from the stats that we've looked up, those pictures do the best on profile. So,
Okay. And so the app is coming soon. So can people
yep.
get on the waiting list right now, or is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do have the
Okay.
waiting list is ready to go.
Okay.
It's
Great.
up right now, and we have a landing page going, zellydating.com.
Okay.
So,
Great. All
yep.
right. And for Confessions, we have 3 seasons, so the whole series is available to listen to. They're all 7 episodes. There's one bonus episode after the first season, but it's all there. And this last season was super fun. We set it at a Catholic Singles Conference, and
Oh, nice.
so it's on Spotify or yeah, all the podcast apps. So I hope people can listen to that. Thanks for chatting. And
Happy to
yeah,
be
so
here.
people
Yep.
should get on the waiting list and listen to the podcast while they're waiting.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Spill out the waiting list while you got the podcast on.
yes.
That's perfect.
All
Yep.
right. All right. Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Thank you guys.